Okay, so this is another video, and I just played this game, and it was interesting to say the very least. But it's one of those games where um, a lot went wrong, but most of it wasn't very obvious. And I'm gonna call this video the subtle retardation video. All right, because there was definitely some retardation going on, and it wasn't your standard sort of game. It was one of those games where it's kind of tilt-worthy or cringe-worthy or something like that, but it's just, I don't know, it's really weird. So the time of this video is the day after the map changes just started, where Prionterasis had its third gold minerals changed to the natural, and it was it's interesting to say the very least. I definitely like that they did something, but I haven't played on it yet because in this latter session that I just played, it's been all dust towers thus far. So I'm guessing a lot of people don't like it. I'm just guessing just because there's been no other maps being played right now. I just played ZvZ and like 3 ZvTs just on dust towers. And then again, dust towers is like fucking Terran Central. So in this game, I opened the standard hatch gas pool, and here is a little bit of subtle retardation again. I'm forced to make a spore, which is whatever, but losing the 2 lings is actually pretty bad because I lost that larva, lost that initial 2 lings. Those 2 lings could have helped me secure the 3rd hatchery, but I didn't have it. And in this game, I also it just kind of screwed with me a little bit. And here I'm making that overlord. Oh, I made it already, but I'm making like overlord just because I know that the surge of injects and drone making is gonna make me make more overlords, and I do have to sacrifice. When I see the marines here, it's very important for me anyways to send it in anyways. You see I moved back posture a little bit, but I'm like, oh wait, I need to scout, so I'm gonna scout with some overlords. So this one, I'm gonna sacrifice this one in, and I'm gonna see that there's no gases being taken, which is pretty standard. If there was, then there'd be some heavy tech play. But my third's very, very late, and it's not so late, but my lane speed did finish, and I did have to make an extra couple lanes. And I think they lost that Reaper too, because the Reapers can't outrun the whatever. So I see a 3rd CC, and I see this tech lab thing. Now, one thing I haven't realized thus far is that when I look at this, I go like, oh my god, Banshees. It's gonna happen, but it's not necessarily Banshees, because they can actually just not lift off. They do lift off here, I think. Oh, they make a medevac first. But yeah, they cannot lift off, but they do lift. But they cannot lift off, and then they just get their stim, and then just play 1-1-1, and then play the standard macro play. But you don't have, when it means tech lamp, it doesn't mean Banshee, you know, or it doesn't mean early whatever this is, Liberator range. It's not. It's just Banshees. All it means is there's a tech lab, and there's a barracks, and there's a starport. It might just be stim, might just be combat shields, it might just be whatever. And here's another part of the subtle retardation. So I watched a recent Guitar Cheese video, and one thing they said that I agree with was like, you send your overlord out here, your 4th overlord out here, or like one of your overlords out here, and the reason is, I didn't do it before, but the reasoning was that I didn't want it to get sniped, you know, like, it's out on the middle of the map, Marines can just, but in this early of game, when I have lane speed, are Marines really going to walk out here and kill this Overlord? Plus, the Overlord sees all, like, Hellions running by, so it helps tremendously, but there's, like, no reason for me not to have it there. The only reason is that there might be Marines that come, but if there might be Marines that come, they're pretty committed to like some sort of attack, because speedlings can just run and kill it if they just try to walk back or something. So that's one little subtle retardation here. So right now I see that there's a 3rd CC, and there's a Hellion drop, and I knew that there was a starport, and I thought that it was going to be Banshees, so there weren't going to be Hellions, but then there was, and then even though I cleaned up all the Hellions, and they didn't lift them up, I lost 7 drones, which is huge. And now I have to replace all of them. And right now I should be at like 60, drones fully saturated on 3 base, but I'm actually very far away from it. Another subtle retardation point right here is when I see that I have 2 Evo chambers and a Baneling nest, and I'm getting a Spire, but the thing was I was wanting to get early mutas to shut down any sort of starport harassy sort of things. Maybe Hellions. Hellions are generally like shoo them away, but if they run into their mineral line, then they're not, mutas aren't the answer. It's more like speedlings. But I got these 2 Evo chambers and this Baneling nest, but the Baneling nest is okay, because if they go Hellbats and push me, I'm fucking dead if I don't have the Baneling nest. But the 2 Evo chambers is a huge investment. It's like 125 minerals, and I didn't defend this again, so yeah, it's pretty ugly. I don't want to watch it. I don't want to watch me losing all my drones. So 18 drones have gone down, and they're just mining away. They haven't taken their third yet, just because they're microing thus far, and also they're going mech. But I could have been pooping creep over here, so it would have denied it anyways if I was good. And if they were good, they would have had their third here, by the way. But still, like, it's 6:30 and they still don't have their third, technically, but they have a huge economic advantage. And you can see the supplies. It's like Terran's already ahead of Zerg in supply. Granted, there are a lot of Hellions, so Hellions are actually like really supply inefficient units. They're 100 minerals, so it's okay for me to. So I have my crease spread going pretty good here. That's a good thing. And now I see that this is the point in the Zerg player's life where it's like I really don't like it, because it's like I can't break this third. I have like 6 mutas. I don't know if I lost any. But I have 6 mutas. That's 600 minerals, 600 gas, plus all that tempo that I've used from early game. Plus I'm getting the upgrade on the Spire. Like, I got the quick layer just with the Spire, which is totally okay. But these 6 mutas not doing anything is not okay. So there is a one Thor, and it's not like I can break anything. I can't kill them. I can only stop harass, which I am doing. And I am droning back up again. But the problem is, like, I can't. These mutas aren't paying for themselves. So you can see here that I actually eventually just back with the mutas. I mean, I kept their Banshees back, which was pretty good, but that's about it, right? That's not good enough. I should be taking. I know that it's mech now. Yeah, so I should be taking a 4th and a 5th base, which I am doing, and I should be just macroing hard. So I am doing that. I'm getting all these upgrades, and I'm getting the Overlords, I'm getting the Carapace upgrade. I didn't get the melee upgrade, I think I cancelled it. And then I'm also getting a Roach Warren. And I mean, these mutas, I lose 1 muta and I kill like maybe like 1 SCV compared to the 90, and they're getting a 4th CC. I don't see this, by the way. But that's like another subtle retardation fact, is that I'm not really utilizing the game in itself. It's very subtle. It's not like I made a big mistake where I sent in the 6 mutas and they all died. It's like I lost 1 muta and I killed an SCV and I kept their harass back, but it wasn't worth. I would rather them be out on the map and I defend their stupid Hellion harass, which they can't because I have roaches out, or their Banshees, which I have Queens and Spores for. Yep. And not invest in these 6 mutas, which have done nothing. I mean, they forced 1 Liberator out. I mean, they're getting more Liberators, but that's just mech being mech. And then they're getting their 4th base out right now. And supply, I'm still down by like so much. And the economy, it's just they're mining more than me. They have mules because they have mules. And now they're marching across the map. This is one of those things where like Terran goes like, I have no idea what's going on. Like if you see, like I have no idea what's going on. So I guess I did see the hive. So I'm going to hope that I'm going to attack and make sure there are no like 2 minutes later there's like 10 broodlords at my 4th kind of thing. So there's chiller posturing, which is okay. Which is completely like okay. So I'm morphing Ravagers here and Roaches. So they see that I'm using all this gas and all these resources. And they take a good position up here because fucking Dust Tower's Cap of Pride. So what should I be doing right now? I should be mining, first of all, on my 4th. I should technically have my 4th base fully saturated and mining. And making units, because you can do all those things and also make roaches and lings and ravagers. It's not that bad. And now I have my hive. I should be getting vipers. I decided to counterattack here, which is okay because they have they're sieging my whatever, and I end up killing this PF, I think. Yeah, so I denied their 4th base. Should I have ran up here? Let's watch this engagement first. So the Lost Tab is here. I mean, the Thors are just, they're kind of like Immortals, where they're in the back and they're just shelling damage. I thought I could kill this, but I couldn't. And this is one of those times where I wish Corruption still affected whatever. And the thing was, no, it wasn't good. I killed all the Hellions, but all the bulk army is still here. Like, it's like killing the Zealots in a ZvP, or it's like killing the Roaches in like a Roach Ravager battle, and they still have the right. They have all the big gas-heavy units. I'm ahead in supply, but I only killed the Hellions. All the supply is like efficient, hardcore. Look at the units tab. 1 Hellion, 2 Thors, 4 Liberators, 10 tanks. And I lost my Ravagers for that? That's not worth it. That's not worth it. This Legacy of the Void is one of those, is a time and period where there are options for Zerg when they have their supply, not to invest their supply and resources and gas into shitty Roaches or Lings or Hydras. Okay, like Ravagers, Lurkers, just even Corruptors and Vipers are all changed, and Infestors and whatever. They're all gas heavy units, and losing any of them when only trading for Hellions generally is probably not a good trade. So that's another big subtle retardation fact. In fact, I should have went into the main. There was only like 3 tanks there, right? So right before this engagement, so right here, there's only 3 tanks here. Alright, so yes, I will take a ton of splash damage. Alright, this wasn't that. Where it was here. It wasn't that softened up, I think. My army wasn't that. Even then, even if they are the Roaches, they can burrow, right? Yeah, they are pretty. So I can run in, kill this tank, and then just take like maybe 2/3 of those SCVs because they'll run away. Lift this too, and then there's only 2 tanks here. Like, what can they do? Maybe these 2 tanks pop out, but by the time I kill these tanks, I can just run in and trade and make their entire army go all the way back whilst getting my new army for whatever. Because these Ravagers are so gas intensive, and I needed them to kill a PF, because if I didn't, then they could have just repaired with whatever SCVs they had, and it just didn't do enough damage. So I definitely should have went in there and traded. And I think, even though I didn't know what it was in the main, it was pretty safe to assume, because they just attacked me with this giant army. If they didn't attack me, or if they attacked me and then the siege was going on for 2-3 minutes and there was no reinforcing units, then, well, obviously there's going to be a giant like shit show in their main. But there isn't, because I just started attacking them. So definitely I should have went in there and delayed it. But instead I lost all those units, so it's a really shitty engagement. And the Lost Tab, they're beating me. As a mech player, which you think, oh, whatever, that's not so bad. But they were gas. It was gas lost. And it was tempo lost too, which is, now I can't even kill this. Like, yeah, I can't even stop this. I have Corruptors out to deal with the fucking air. And I'm only on 6 gas geysers right now, which is pretty bad, because I definitely should have, while my attack should have went on, it's excusable to not hit injects or something, but before, while I'm attacking, I can just move here, when clear out those SCVs, build gas geysers, start the Greater Spire or whatever I want to transition to, and then whatever. But thus far, it's not going well. And I max out on Roaches. They're all Roaches. So the army's pretty shitty for me. But I'm still ahead in supply. And here is where I lose all my shit. This is like the worst engagement. So even though I don't have Lings upgraded, and they have mech upgrades, if they went double armory, which they didn't. They only went single armory. I can actually just screw up with the splash damage, or not take so much splash damage. And when they close in, I saw some Widow Mines too, when they close in, they can just attack the tanks. And it will do more damage to the tanks than whatever engagement I'm going to take with only roaches. Because roaches are heavy, they're clunky, they're fat compared to lings. And they take a big engagement here. I mean, it's kind of funny because they can stack up their liberators and then just kite me, my corruptors, because you think corruptors would kill liberators, which they do. But when it's such a hard micro-intensive battle, it's like I can't. They're gonna take splash damage, so it's pretty bad. So these roaches are not in like a single file line, which is optimal if I was just going roaches, which I wasn't. I want to have lings with this, right? And reinforcing with lings is good too. And so I did try a good concave. It wasn't just one ball A move, all right? It was not good enough concave, but it wasn't a ball A move. So that's good. I can see the room for improvement. Here we go. The corruptors are attacking the liberators. This is okay, I think. I lied. These corruptors aren't doing anything. But if they were, then they would kill everything. But as you can see, I lost all that shit. And I just dropped down to their supply. And if I had lings, or if I just had a better concave and less splash, then it definitely would have been better. This killed like everything here. And so I try to clean this up, or this section up, which I attacked here, which is okay, but I still lose a lot. And if I had, like, once again, if I had lings, then actually lings could have cleaned that up. Like maybe 30 lings could have cleaned that up. And so even though I survived technically, it's not good enough. And so that's like a big, really subtle retardation thing. Actually, that was pretty big retardation there. But here is where I try to catch off any reinforcements. I can't stop this fourth if it was a PF, which it isn't, but still there's tanks, right? So I can't really stop it. So we're even on supply, which is bad because all I'm making are roaches, and you can see their army. It's so much gas. Their minerals are less, just because they don't have that many Hellions anymore. And here I try to attack when I didn't have my rest of my army here, which is pretty bad, but I wasn't watching, I was just probably A-moving. And killing these. I killed this tank, I think. So I'm at this point where I'm only making roaches, which is okay, but I can't win on just roaches. If I could win on just roaches, then I would have just kept making roaches and won the game, but I can't. I needed Vipers, and I had the gas for it. Because I'm forced to make all these roaches, even though I'm only on 6 gas geysers. I can't finish the game, or I can't win the game. And they have a really good spread here. And once again, they only have like 4 Hellbats, so if I had, and they have Vikings, because to counteract the Corruptors, which I don't have, I have 1 Corruptor. But if I just had Lynx here, I would have easily cleaned up this army, and I might have actually been in a position to like win the game. So I did take a pretty okay engagement here compared to the other ones, and the queens are just hitting the well, they should have been hitting the liberators. But yeah, we're still even on supply, which is okay, because I should have just lost right there. But they just go back and regroup for like 2 or 3 minutes. So this is just kind of like, I'm making Corruptors again because there's so many Vikings, which I shouldn't have. I should have just used up all those. And I should have just made, not Vipers, because they have Vikings, but just Lings or something. Because I didn't get 3-3, even though I knew that it was time to get 3-3, just because I had no resources. But depending on how long this game goes, I should have definitely got 33. Or at least get Adrenal Glands too, you know? Because those Lings were so important. That's engaged here, and I'm just losing my shit. And we're still even on supply. The income is just horrendous for me. I have 2 bases, technically, kind of, on minerals. But nothing on gas. They're just muling away at their whatever. They're kind of like almost 3 base economy with gases as well, and I can't really do much here, so I'm just gonna skim through the rest of this game. I realize in these videos I talk really long, but it's actually not that whatever. It's not that, like, it's really long, but it's not that informative. I mean, there are good points in them. That's why I think so. That's why I make these videos, but Yeah. So Blinding Cloud here is pretty good. And I didn't one ball A move, even though it's really hard position for me to engage. So I took a pretty good fight. That was a pretty good fight. This game, it's not salvageable because I know it's safe to assume that it's like what I talked about in the previous videos. I can just drop CCs here and I can't stop them. I didn't burrow lings or I didn't do anything. Then just take more bases here. But that was a pretty good engage. That was a good thing. Yeah. So what could have the Terran have done better? They could have just not put their tanks so close together. But it's hard to think that because they think they won already because they have. It's just that they didn't anticipate Vipers, which I should have been getting in the first place. And here's where I just lose the game. Yeah, but you see, before that fight, they had this much supply, and then after the fight, they just replenished all the units they lost, and this is just where the game sort of ends. So yeah, so that's it. Subtle retardation. Hope you learned something, because I definitely have. I definitely learned a lot in this game. Just the little things. Sometimes it's not the big things. It's a lot of the little things. So yeah, subtle retardation.